and he was able to defeat most of them, including defeating death. So for me, my message to people listening to us is that there is no challenge that is bigger than death that Jesus has defeated. So you can still defeat that challenge that you think appears bigger on your side. All right. Yeah. Welcome to the Big Seat. Peter Mpaka, good morning and welcome to the Big Seat.
Good morning, West J, and good morning, our dear listeners. I really want also to join Honorable Apple here to wish you a Merry Christmas and Happy New Year. But I want to also alert our dear travelers, especially those going to certain parts of Western Uganda, that because of the gross mismanagement by the NRM government, we have a Christmas jam here in Imbarara. So if you don't need to come into the center of town, please.
But how is the NRM connected to the jam in Bar?
How can Imbarara, the second biggest city in Uganda, look the way it looks, with very, very narrow and confused roads? So I want to tell my listeners, if you're traveling to Rukunjiri, Kabale or Kasese or wherever, Bushenyi, or even Isinjiro, you need not to maybe pass in the city center. You can use the bypass.
Okay.
Or you can go through Bishop Stewart. You know, when I become mayor, I want also to institute the Southern bypass. You can go through Bishop Stewart side, through Kakova, and then you are on your way. But I really want to alert you enough that there is jam there. Then also my second point, which I wanted to, my disturbing news actually of the week, what caught my eye. I was so excited about the integration of the East African community. But on Thursday or Wednesday, we had news of one of the former chairmen of the Electoral Commission in DRC here, who has decided to join a rebel outfit. So it leaves question, when a prominent leader at that caliber, who of a country which has just joined the ESC, starts to find no reason in this community. And you hear voices now sounding out and alarming that it seems the ESC is all about President Museveni, all the other countries. Tanzania is looking the other side. Kenya is also looking the other side. I think we need to really call upon our leaders to innovate or reinvigorate the purpose of the ESC. Otherwise, we are losing track in the whole
Thank
jungle.
you. Welcome, all of you gentlemen. Let's kick up for a break. When we come back, Asimu Banjisi, because you came late, I'll give you the opportunity to say hello.
It's tough. It's bold. It's real politics. The Big Seat on 91.2 CROOZE FM. Great music.
Great music.
Great friends.
Great friends.
Happy holidays.
Happy holidays.
From 91.2 CROOZE FM. Great music.
Great music.
Great friends.
Great friends.
Get the Kabode Super from MTN now at a reduced price of only 199,000 Uganda shillings. Grab this Super Kabode deal and get 2 GB free of MTN data every month for 8 months. Get the Kabode Super now from any MTN shop countrywide. Everywhere you go, MTN.
Unlock a world of opportunities for your school in 2024. 91.2 CROOZE FM invites schools to advertise at incredibly affordable and unbeatable rates. Elevate your school's profile. Seize this opportunity. Showcase your school to our diverse audience. Contact us today on 0782-861-727 or 0706-912-912 or visit us at Muti Lane in Mbarara City for exclusive offers.
A very Merry Christmas and Happy New Year from 91.2 CROOZE FM. Great music, great friends. It's tough, it's bold, it's real politics. The Big Seat on 91.2 CROOZE FM. Great music.
Great music.
Great friends.
Great friends.
Welcome back from that break. It's 25 minutes past 9 o'clock on Western Uganda's biggest radio station, 91.2 CROOZE FM. Great music, great friends. Good morning. My name is Wesi Gebanyaji. If at all you cannot be able to catch the radio, You can be able to stream live on www.cruisefm.com/stream. And on Cruise TV on YouTube, you'll be able to watch everything that is happening here. It's a radio TV arrangement. Now, later on in the show, you'll catch up on 752-912-912 and 780-912-910. We are online on 912 Cruise FM on X and 91.2 Cruise FM on Facebook and Instagram. I put a question on our topic of discussion on Facebook. I want to hear from you. So give us that feedback on what you think about the appointment of Honorable Joel Ssenyonyi as the new leader of opposition. I'll be able to read some of your messages, but go and watch the show on Cruise TV there. Now, we know for sure that the president of the National Unity Platform made a reshuffle in the leadership of parliament with the new appointments of cabinets led by Joel Ssenyonyi, now replacing Matthias Mpuga. That will be a topic of discussion this morning. But we also know there are a couple of other members that were given positions. Honorable Zake will be the Minister for Presidency, Dekean, Public Service, Malende, Human Rights, Christine Kaya, Water and Environment, Special Region, Santa Okot, East Africa, Lucia Kello, Kayemba Solo, Sports. The list goes on and on and on, but we know that Betty Namboze is now the minister, shadow minister for internal affairs, Subuga Balimwezo, KCCA, Lands, Urutamaguzi. You can be able to read the list, it's all over, so that you can be able to understand what this really means for the opposition. Let me start with the man that belongs to the National Unity Platform, Peter Mpaka, but I also have Council Bwenje, those did it. I have Apollo Tumsime and Asim Bandizi. Yes, Peter Mpaka, yesterday we had the news of the appointment of Joel Ssenyonyi replacing Matthias Mpuga, and this has been a debate in the woofing because it's been a little bit of disgruntlement within the party, especially with the members of the NUP in the diaspora. They've been categorically clear that Matthias Mpuga has not served in the interests of the party. First, he superintended over the passing of the anti-homosexuality bill that now became the act that is in court for determination of the same. And so many other things, the lukewarm of his leadership. You know, there have been complaints of being in cahoots with government and not being out there for the Ugandan people that the opposition feels is oppressed. So this was a long time coming. And we know Joel Ssenyonyi for being a little bit on the extreme. A little bit of let's go and confront the state, let's demand for this. Away from whom Matthias Mpuga was, of let's engage, let's create some kind of diplomatic relations, let's talk to government to be able to realize anything that we want from government. And now this transition, don't you think now, especially for the fence sitters of the political party, those that would admire to join the opposition political party, would now think with this man in leadership, this is not the team to support? And what does it feel for especially members like you of these changes?
Thank you, SJ. I'm extremely happy. And I want to first of all congratulate Honorable Joel Ssenyonyi on that appointment. I want to congratulate most especially the party secretariat led by Lewis David Wongoya, and also congratulate my president for being bold and taking up that step. Now, you've really asked me so many issues, but I want to take it on like this, that it is very important. You see, every organization has got two groups of people, or especially when it's about leadership. Every leader, if you're leading either a church or a cell or anything you're leading, you must be able to identify within the people you're leading that you have loyalists and you also have people whom I can call, should I say, sympathizers, those that you've called the fence liners, those who sit on the fence. And even in the NUP, we have people who are loyalists, people who are extremists, who are the do or die for the party. And then we have people who are in the party because of the sympathy that the party draws. And we also have people who are in the party akuba bobegamira enjura nanga batinira omushana gutabose, the mushana of politics. So why I was congratulating my party leadership is that for me, I see Joel Ssenyonyi as a party loyalist. And that's why I want to dispute the propaganda that is already being oozed out by the NRM and other political actors that we have actually appointed somebody who is going to be lukewarm even more than the outgoing L.O.P. I believe that Ssenyonyi's activism, because we have looked at this 11th parliament, the first 2.5 years, there have been years of a lot of lukewarmness. And as we move to the 2026 election, I think we need a bit of radicalism. We need people who will boldly come out and confront government and ask questions. We need people who will put up demands, who will, even if they are electoral reforms, for example, because Matthias Impuga, one of the things that I think could have put him at loggerheads with the party was the suggestion of electoral reforms immediately after we had come out of the 2021 election. And people were telling him, man, this is an election we are still contesting. How can you be suggesting electoral reforms at this time? And he had to backstep and drop his suggestions. So I look at Ssenyonyi as an extremist for the party, as a loyalist for the party, as I became a pillar of the party. And I think these are the people that if you are a leader, you should surround yourself with. Because as a leader, there is a time when you will feel you have no gas even to move. But you will need an extremist to tell you, Chisoboka, Nebobolabante Chisoboka. You will need a loyalist to tell you, man, let's not give up on our vision.
But you see the danger in that is that you have a situation where the incumbent president has a mechanism of dealing with confrontation. You may not necessarily get anything if at all you confront the state. Now, if at all the leader that has come into leadership of the opposition is the type that will want to engage the state, how then will you even get anything? Because that's not how the state works. Sometimes it's about diplomacy. It's a win-win situation where it's a give and take.
Mpuga has been a diplomat. He has been a negotiator. He has been an altar boy. I mean, he has been this calm boy. But has that changed the dictatorship of President Museveni? Actually, NUP has been on the losing side. Because people were starting to say
but you see,
that we
the
are in
opposition
bed
has been
with
able to register some milestones. We know of the coffee bill. Because of the resistance of the opposition, government was not able to adopt and even pass.
I think you're trying to give credit where it's not. Because for coffee, I remember all Ugandans came up and said we cannot give our coffee to a foreigner, to a person who doesn't even have a testimony of coffee growing. So that is an achievement of coffee farmers and various institutions in Uganda. But for me, I want to state it categorically that I am not saying that the leadership of Mpuga was wanting. He is an exceptional leader. But he is not, for me, especially for the period we are entering into, he's not this leader you would want to be at the forefront.
Okay.
He has registered his achievements, the tentative, the alternative budget, the alternative legislative agenda, the good English he has been speaking in parliament. But I'm telling you that at a time as this, we need an extremist, we need a loyalist who is going to push the agenda
All right, thank you.
of activism.
Though I don't know where extremism has succeeded globally, but let me bring in this gentleman here. I'll come to you, Council. Apollo Musime, you a member of the Alliance for the National Transformation. It's not true? That's very true. All right. Now, when you see what's happening in the NUP, what comes to your mind? Because now for you, you'd be thinking, well, they are giving younger boys, younger people that have no experience literally in legislation, in leadership of the opposition. It would have been maybe someone who has served in parliament for about 2-3 terms. Does Ssenyonyi have whatever it takes to lead the opposition in parliament, you think?
Thank you very much, Banyaji, and Mr. Mpaka, who has just left the microphone. Now, for me, I am a cattle keeper. So when you have this animal that has collapsed and you're trying to approach it, when you see it has started locomoting, like it is changing, then you get excited. At least you know it is alive, it is not dead. So when NUP makes these changes, first of all, I congratulate them because I know that the National Unity Platform is a party and it is alive. And then we can discuss which kind of changes it has made and the impact. Every political party, it has people who are liberal and those that are extremists like Mr. Paka was suggesting. So you can look at FDC, the liberal people are just there sitting at Najana Nkumbi, while the radical extremists have moved to Katonga, and that is how they are moving the party. We have DP, we have Norbert Mao, who is liberal. Right now he is not sure whether he's NRM or DP, but he's liberal. And then we have the Sebamalas, who are extremists on the other side. And this is what we've been seeing in the National Unity Platform. Matthias Mpuga represents the liberal side. And then we'll discuss Ant later. Matthias Mpuga.
Yes.
We are discussing Matthias Mpuga.
Let's allow him.
Matthias Mpuga represents the section of the liberals, whereas the Ssenyonyis, the Zakes, are the other side of radical extremists. And now, for me, I know, I think, Vanges, you have to agree with me later on, that NRM has set a precedent. Why you have the Prime Minister, the leader of government business, in the caliber of Right Honorable Nabanja, then you should not worry to see a leader of opposition in Honorable Joel Ssenyonyi. In fact, we could even see Zake, because for Zake, because why you have the leader of government business in the person of
what is wrong with the Right Honorable Nabanja? What is wrong with that?
Well, I'm trying to see how these 2.5 years when Matthias Mpuga has been deliberating alongside Nabanja, and you can see there is a mismatch in the two. And for me, it really created an impression in Parliament that, I mean, the NRM has created an impression that Parliament could not be something that we can take serious, because you can just say anything you want. You saw how Nabanja, like, she comes to the microphone and speaks things, and then the next session she's denying them. I have never said this. And this is the person who is representing government. So no, that's not correct. So when opposition is fronting its ideas, its issues that are pressing them, and then you need someone to respond to them, but the person who's supposed to respond to them is Right Honorable Nabanja, then you may not have to work a lot. And for me, I have no problem with NUP presenting Joel Ssenyonyi. Joel Ssenyonyi as a person represents a generation, my generation. So if they are appointed in the next cabinet, if they appointed my friend Wenje Deusidedit as, let's say, a state minister for internal affairs. So what would I say? I would congratulate him, because I know Wenje from his capacity as a council, and he has done some things. So, I mean, we can give him a try. So, Joel Ssenyonyi, I see this young man in journalism. He became, I think he started news anchoring around 2006. He was just 19. Around 2011, he contested for Central Youth MP. He didn't go through, didn't succeed. He kept in media until he joined politics and became member of parliament at a very young age. I want to give him a chance to see what he can represent, because it's not correct to see someone and then you judge him in that way. No, we would need an opposition that can be so pressing, but the government, President Museveni, whether you're liberal, whether you're an extremist, whether you're what, it's only his ideas, it's only his goals that we always come to forth.
All right, thank you.
We may not have to debate so much about that. Let's just give Ssenyonyi a chance to see what he can be able to deliver.
Let's stop for a break. We'll be right back. Good morning.
It's tough. It's bold. It's real politics. The Big Seat on 91.2 CROOZE FM. Great music.
Great music.
Great friends.
Great friends.
Merry Christmas from 91.2 CROOZE FM. Great music.
Great music.
Great friends.
Great
With
friends.
the Jubilee Personal Pension Plan, we believe in enjoying your lifestyle beyond your working years. But don't just take our word for it. Listen to what our retirees have to say.
With the personal pension plan, I still earn salary even in retirement. I don't have the pressure of depending on my children.
The plan has enabled me to still enjoy traveling locally and internationally.
For me, I was able to retire with peace of mind, knowing I am covered financially.
You heard it. Our Jubilee Personal Pension Plan is designed with you in mind, ensuring you a comfortable retirement. Join us and let's own your tomorrow together. Call us toll free on 0800-211-711 or email us talktourslive@jubileeuganda.com to get started today. Jubilee Personal Pension Plan, ensuring you enjoy your lifestyle beyond your working years. Jubilee Life Insurance Company of Uganda is regulated by the Insurance Regulatory Authority of Uganda.
All of today's hit music.
All the hits, one station.
This is 91.2 CROOZE FM.
Western Uganda's biggest radio. CROOZE FM.
Great music.
Great music.
Great friends.
Great friends.
It's tough. It's bold. It's real politics. The Big Seat on 91.2 CROOZE FM. Great music.
Great music.
Great friends.
Great friends.
We are back. It's about 18 minutes to the top of the hour on Western Uganda's biggest radio station, 91.2 CROOZE FM. Great music, great friends. My name is Wesi Gibanyaji. Merry Christmas to all the listeners and lovers of the Big Set throughout the entire region and across the country. We are online on www.cruisefm.com/stream and on Cruise TV for YouTube. You will be able to watch everything that is transpiring here. With me in studio is Asim Webandisi. He belongs to the MK movement. Apollo Tumsime, political analyst, belongs to the Alliance for the National National Transformation. That's the party. You see, when you become so silent and inactive, we literally forget what the party stands for. We have Peter Mpaka. He belongs to the National Unity Platform, and Council Bwenje. That did it here. Our topic of discussion this morning is on the changes that have been made in the leadership of Parliament. President of the National Unity Platform, the Honorable Robert Ssentam Chagulani, replaced Matthias Mpoga with Joel Ssenyonyi. Our discussion is on how capable will Joel be? Who is Joel to be able to, mount the task that is ahead of him? Which strategy is best for the opposition going forward? The good news is that the cabinet is not made up of only members of the NUP, but from all the other political parties, which is a good thing. Let me come to Bwenje. I know for sure that you were a former member of the National Unity Platform until you lost it when you stood for independence in that election in Barra City North. But I know for sure that you have interests in the party. Do you think the leadership of Joel Ssenyonyi is ultimately going to lead the NUP in Entebbe State House after January of 2026, you think?
No, of course I don't. You see, the National Unity Platform is a creation of the law. it's a creature of the Political Parties and Organizations Act of 2005. And one of the features of an artificial person is the ability to survive its members. And there's no way it can survive its members if there's no change. If it has not, if it doesn't have the ability to change officers. So for me, I think it's a very big step for the L.O.P even to be able to change one leader of opposition for another one. It's a big step for me. And of course, Sonia Bampuga has been exceptional. He has presided over the biggest boycott in the history of Uganda's parliamentary elections. I mean, parliamentary democracy. It was of such magnitude that the government almost came to a standstill. And I think I congratulate. Yeah, but you see, it was his duty, and he lived up to it. He did not disappoint. So I thank him, of course, for being very vocal, eloquent, and for being extremely single-minded in the pursuit of excellence and accountability, especially from government. However, my choice wouldn't have been Honorable Ssenyonyi. My choice would have been Honorable Zake. Because the leader of opposition whom we want now is not the leader who focuses on parliament. Because the word opposition means you are opposing government. And government per se means the executive arm of government. So we need a leader of opposition whose mentality and concentration and focus is directed towards removing the executive arm of government. Because even our parliament is a captive of the executive arm of the state. So me personally, I think I would have opted for Zake. Because Zake is
sorry for coming
let
in.
me
but this is a debate. This is a debate. So sorry for coming in. But there is a question that Westje asked me there, that President Museveni is a master of violence, and if you use violence as a tool, he will make violence times 1,000 times on you, and that will result into some catastrophic consequences. Whereas I admire your choice of Zake, but you need a leader, though he is an extremist, but you need a leader who is also calm, who is also intelligent, and who will give right judgments as in of when they are needed and when they are not needed.
Okay.
And I don't see Zake being able to control.
I think leadership, you need a sober mind.
You see,
some kind of emotional intelligence.
Even the great Mandela thought that civil disobedience is the way to remove the apartheid government. But he reached a time and he found that can't happen. Because even if you lie down on the road, these people are going to kind of come with tanks and guns and sticks.
What is the best way of removing government? Minus
as to what amounts to the best way, I think what you should be asking is what is the most effective way of removing government, not the best. Effective, yeah. Yes, and the most effective way of removing a military government like the one of Museveni is the same way how the same government came, by force of arms.
Okay.
Because and of course, as a member of the opposition, I don't have any faith in elections. Yes, we can start a party to remove the government. Yes, it's not mandatory that the party must involve in elections. But of course, along the way, if we find there is need and it is worth it to join an election, then we shall do so. But as of now, really, we're asking ourselves, is an election effective?
All right.
And our resolution is no.
Okay. Let me bring in a member of the National Resistance Movement, Asimu Banjizi. when you watch what is happening in the biggest political party in the country as of now, because the opposition is supposed to create some kind of threat to your establishment. Now, leadership is very important in expressing the direction of any organization. In having Joel Ssenyonyi, it really means what the National Unity Platform is headed for, because we are thinking a person like Ssenyonyi, who is a bit more extremist, who thinks President Museveni should not be massaged and caressed and held with soft hands, and there is need to tell him off and fight him both physically and verbally and create some kind of war. This is who Joel is. This is who Zake is. And now they've taken the leadership of the party. It's been a long time coming. What do you think of the same, knowing that you belong to the NRM, and does it create some kind of fear where you sit as a party?
Thank you so much, Vanyaji, our host, and allow me to say hello to our dear listeners, because you denied me that opportunity.
Now you have it.
Corruption is everywhere, and it's being even exhibited in journalism, where we thought you guys are impartial.
Okay.
Yeah, straight to the point. I want us to interest ourselves in the history of this country, where we've come from to reach here. We look at the previous opposition leaders during the days of the British, when they introduced the Legislative Council, LEGICO, in 1921. Fast forward, the first leader of opposition in Parliament, that was Ben Chwanka. There came in Basil Bataringaya, Alex Ratim, a gentleman from Guru, who replaced Basil Bataringaya as the DP Secretary General. During the 8 years of Amin, we didn't have opposition because they literally all scattered to Tanzania, Kenya. That's from 1971 to 1978. Then during those days of them trying to stabilize, having elections that were hotly contested in 1980, DP, the presumption or the majority of us Ugandans believe had won, but reluctantly they formed the bench in Parliament, and Dr. Paul Kawang Semogere became the leader of opposition in party. When NRM came, up to the time when we had the first elections, we didn't have a leader of opposition in Parliament. After the 1996 elections, we were under the single party movement. Opposition was not officially recognized till 2006. That's when Professor Latigo came in as the leader of opposition, Nanda Ramafabi, the Winchesas, credible people that we've seen over time. Up to the time when we had the Impuga and finally Joel Ssenyonyi. What am I trying to put across is to shed more light so that we all appreciate that the current parliament we have is a true reflection of Ugandans or Uganda as a country. My friend from Nyabushozi talked about it briefly. When you also look at the previous leaders of government, business in parliament, and our current leader, it raises some few questions here and there. And to me, honestly speaking, if we are to look at leadership, what Impuga brings on board is way, way superior than what Joel Ssenyonyi brings on board.
But he has not brought it.
But nevertheless, who appoints the leader of opposition in party? It's always the party, the opposition party that has the majority members of parliament in parliament. Us as NRM, us as MK movement, really, this is a very weak cabinet. And interestingly, they always make noise that His Excellency does not gives preference to Westerners. The new cabinet, the new shadow cabinet, has no single person from Western or Southwestern Uganda. And I believe these are some of the reasons as to why Ugandans are hesitant to entrust power with our disorganized, disoriented, selfish opposition actors. So, Joel Ssenyonyi really does not make the grade compared to the people that I've listed. And what do we expect from a leader of opposition to advance that alternative agenda? As we speak right now, do they even have an alternative agenda? I, for one, as a Ugandan that wishes well this country, I would love us to have a very strong opposition that can keep the government on its toes to make sure it delivers to the latter in regards to service delivery. The key things affecting us Ugandans that need to be addressed here and there, because even in America, even in UK, wherever you go, there is always room for improvement. Much as we appreciate what His Excellency Yoweri Kaguta Museveni has done from 1985 up to today, there is room for improvement, Vanyaji, and our dear listeners out there. For instance, on our local scene, Mpaka, I expected you to dwell more into the problems we are having here in Imbarasi. We have a challenge of garbage. We have a challenge of roads. When you go into the outskirts of Imbarasi, now, like today, I was coming from Kakoba. I used that road from Golden Leaf. Borders can hardly pass each other, just borders.
All right, let's stop for a break. We'll be right back into the second hour. Good morning.
It's tough. It's bold. It's real politics. The Big Seat on 91.2 CROOZE FM. Great music.
Great music.
Great friends.
Great friends.
Hit us up on www.cruisefm.com or connect to us on our Facebook page, Twitter, and Instagram at 912 CROOZE FM and join in on the discussion.
Introducing Igongo Country Hotel and Culture Center. Experience 5-star treatment as you get in touch with Southwestern culture at our wonderful museum. Hike to the breathtaking 1520 Eclipse Hill and witness nature's wonders firsthand. Accommodation is very affordable, and so are our special cuisines for daily lunch and any kind of party, spacious conference facilities, a swimming pool, sauna, gym, massage, and a professional unisex salon. Our expansive, beautiful gardens are the perfect backdrop for your memorable gatherings, be it a party, ceremony, or team building event. For this festive season, enjoy 20% discount on accommodation for the month of December. This offer is valid for reservations made between now and the 15th of November. For bookings and reservations, our email is reservations@igongo.co.ug, or you could call us on 0392 722 828 or 0752 008 724. Don't miss your chance to create cherished memories and experiences that will last a lifetime. Igongo Country Hotel and Country Center, where the future meets the past.
Hello beautiful cruisers, I go by the name Starsen DJ from the Most Wanted Hits, and here to wish you a very Merry Christmas and Happy New 2024. Lots of love from us, me to you.
Sunday Blues.
There's only you in my life.
Sunday Blues.
You're beautiful. You're beautiful. You're beautiful. It's true.
Sunday Blues.
Got this feeling down deep in my soul that I just can't lose. Guess I'm on my way.
Sunday Blues.
Tell that someone that you love just what you're thinking of. If tomorrow never comes.
Sunday Blues.
Every Sunday.
On 91.2 CROOZE FM. Great music.
Great music.
Great friends.
Great friends. Jazz Junction. Jazz Junction. On 91.2 CROOZE FM. Great music. Great friends. Jazz Junction. Jazz Junction on 91.2 Cruise FM. Great music, great friends. Our music, our station, our region. It's Western Uganda's biggest radio. 91.2 Cruise FM. Great music, great friends.
This is the top of the hour. Locked and loaded. 91.2 Cruise FM. Great music.
Great
friends.
Great friends.
It's tough. It's bold. It's real politics. The Big Seat on 91.2 Cruise FM. Great music.
Great
friends.
Great friends.
We are back. It's 2 minutes past 10 o'clock on Western Uganda's biggest radio station, 91.2 Cruise FM. Great music, great friends. It's a Merry Christmas, and I want to wish it all to the lovers of the Big Seat and generally Cruise FM. We appreciate you for keeping with us all the way up to where we are today. And to remind you, the Big Seat happens every particular Saturday, 9 a.m. to 11. What we do is talk about everything that concerns our country. It could be economics, politics, sociology, and everything that has to do with that. Now, I want to thank everyone that is catching the show online on cruisefm.com/stream and on Cruise TV on YouTube. I see the feedback there. Hilary Ahimbesibe Muhanji, you're listening again from Uganda town. I want to thank you. You're watching the show, actually. Olema Said, you're watching from Mukono and you're loving the show. Much respect. Then Isaac Keish, you're right here watching from Kakoba. Bwenje Francis, you're watching from Kampala. Jonan Turiaikayo, you're saying thank you for the program. Well, you're standing with Bobby Wine on the choice that he made in Joel Ssenyonyi. Oponya Daniel, you're watching the show from Boma right here. And there's so many of you that are glued on television, Cruise TV, on YouTube, watching the show. Want to say thank you so much. Let me open the lines right about now. We get to hear from you on 752-912-912 and 780-912-910. Those are two numbers that you can be able to call in and make your contribution on the topic of discussion on 752-912-912 and 780-912-910. The Big Seat. Hello, caller. Hello. Unfortunately, you called and kept quiet. The Big Seat.
Hello, Mr. Ssenyonyi.
Yeah, Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas too.
Who am I talking to and where you at?
Nabanyeta Alexander na Teromo Rubuwezu.
Yes, Alexander.
Na enda gamba cha Mr. Bobu wani kusora na jore Ssenyonyi the leader of opposition. Ekimoni nda kino songa because nebo members abaine kandi nindeba ngo omurimo gwabira rwabira kuzireje Ssenyonyi. Ene kindi Mr. Banji yagira ngo Bobu wine ta considering members from Western Uganda ko bateka cabinet yehe konkecho namaka nsaho kuno shuti ho with music
Bono bange haba opposition abakurugomo West.
The konkufi no ya opposition ono music am dia trade na industry. Work I mean works and transport. Okay.
Yebare mnongo. All right, thank you for the call right there. The Big Seat. On 752-912-912 and 780-912-910. The Big Seat. Yes, good morning. Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas to you.
Yes, what's your name and where you calling from?
I'm called Turnau from Kambija Wanyangwe.
Yes, Turnau.
On the issue of Joe Ssenyonyi, Ssenyonyi is a good leader of opposition and he shall do better for not pass through.
Okay.
And then I want also to advise this Wenja and his party. What will he restore
like he started the national resolution for restoration. So we don't know probably what. Yeah, we don't know probably what will he restore. If will he restore, we don't know.
Okay, thank you. I'm sorry. The big say. Turn down the volume of that radio. Mr. Henry from Kazo, can you turn down the volume of the radio?
I turned it down.
Okay. Good morning. Merry Christmas.
Morning, Merry Christmas too.
To the topic of discussion.
Maybe planning at magazine. Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas. The big set.
Hello?
Yes, good morning.
Morning too.
Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas too. This is Kato John calling in from the Nyangavu.
Yes, Mr. Kato.
I think what Bolivan did, it's good because even, yes, Master Spoga was doing well also, but the replacement of Charles Senior is also perfect.
All right. I'll get back to the calls later on, but let me come back to studio here. When the Right Honorable Matthias Mpoga was coming into the leadership of the opposition, he stated out clearly his legislative agenda, what he wanted to achieve eventually. Maybe after 5 years of the entire term, maybe not. But at least what we can be sure is that he did something for the opposition, certainly. And the caliber of person that he is, especially from those that view him from inside government, they think perhaps now this man was serving in the interest of the general good. Now you have Joel Ssenyonyi, who is a new person, a rookie, for lack of a better pick of word, be taking on and having to supervise people like the Dokolo woman member of parliament, Ssenyonyi-Uganda'S. You have people like Elijah Okupa. These people have been in parliament forever. You know, you're going to lead people that have experience in legislation, in generally oversight, and we could be able to track down on his pedigree. What has he been able to achieve as leader of the public accounts, of the committee on COSASE? Was he able to achieve the unachievable? During his tenure, did we see COSASE being able to make government parastatals to account in a bigger measure? Did we see that?
Sometime back, I stated that the role of the opposition is not to massage the government of Uganda. It's not to romance government. It's to remove it from power. So people like Ssenyonyi-Uganda'S and Honorable Okupa must now know that being in parliament is not a lifetime job. Okay, you have people who must come up, young people, to remind them that it is time.
But you see, if at all you have a person like Joel, who will not be able to bring a person like Zake to order, because that's critical.
Yes.
As a leader, you must be able to have that kind of foresight to look at the bigger picture.
Yes.
It's not necessarily showing who is more mighty, but how can we coexist as a parliament? Because eventually, the success or failure of both sides eventually affects the country.
You see, diplomacy in parliament cannot work. Under the kind of government we have here, a military government, where all the decisions made in parliament are to the perpetuation of the military regime. Now, parliament needs a radical person.
Okay.
Actually, a radical person who is not afraid of the speaker, but who, of course, must respect the speaker.
Let me bring in our...
And I think Honorable Zake can do that, except that maybe I also request him to go back to school and study law.
He studied law. He just needs the LDC.
Yes. And he has to have the ability to balance his emotions and the practice of the law.
All right.
Yeah.
Let me bring in the gentleman who belongs to the party that is literally in the books because no member of parliament, no councillor, no representative at all. And for you, it's diplomacy and planning, strategy, structures, name it. When you see the NUP saying, let's look at it this way, we are not going to continue with the kind of leadership that Mpuga was providing. Rather, let's get on a person who is going to get us out there and make things done. Isn't it something that you can borrow as a party?
Every party has its ideology that it stands for.
What is the ideology of the NUP, of the ANTS?
Of course, for us, we are a value-based party, and we think we need to speak to the populace down there at the grassroots level. The grassroots, or the people at the grassroots first conceives the message. After the conception of the message, we can be able to grow the party from down, and then eventually we take over the leadership from the NRM junta.
Does he think that kind of strategy works? Because
the answer is
yes. When Museveni took over power, he didn't have structures. So you don't need structures.
He actually had UPM structures.
No, they are not there.
Okay, but then
so you don't need structures to change power.
Yeah, but then there was, of course, there has been extremism right away from Vestige time, 2001, and he has not delivered power as well.
He has been cheated.
Okay, but then, so he has been cheated, so what do we do?
Let's allow him, but I think he's making a very fundamental point. Is that now, what should we do if he did not deliver?
He has been cheated. So every time we go for election and then he says he has been cheated, so what do? We need to change leadership, and for us we are providing an alternative strategy. But coming back to George Ssenyonyi, Mr. Oya, is that Ssenyonyi is not going to work in isolation. He has been appointed as the leader of opposition, but he also works with other people. More so, Honorable Matthias Mpuga has not been dropped completely. He has been given a position of Commission of Parliament. When they sit together, and alongside other appointments, we have so much amazing appointments in Mwanga Chivumbi leading PAC, we have Segona leading Kosase, and we have Abed Wanaka leading Government Assurances Committee. So this team is also big enough to sit with Ssenyonyi. If they are to lay some legislative agenda, like the one Matthias Mpuga laid, of course it was for 5 years, maybe they can follow that. They can be able to come up with something. So he's not going to work in isolation. And these people are there to stand at his back. He's just taking the mantle, the leadership, but they are also in the background and can be there to advise him whenever he's going astray. In the politics of Uganda that we have now, and I again say that it is NRM and President Museveni that set a precedent. You have to choose someone who is loyal to you, and that is Ssenyonyi. He has been loyal to the party, to the party president specifically.
No. I think that is very true, certainly.
No,
because Joel has publicly said we were 4 people in a room when we started this.
Yes.
So it means that there is an element of
what he's saying, what he's saying is that there's no merit in the appointment, but his appointment is just based on friendship.
But I'm saying
no.
Let's allow him to
dispute that and dispute it very, very clearly.
Speak to the microphone.
Now, let's, like Apollo has said, let's study the appointments of President Museveni. Actually, if there is an appointment that a reshuffle that disappointed me, which Museveni did, is that reshuffle where he dropped Gilbert Bukenya from being a vice president
and appointed
I think
Sekandi, yes.
Gilbert Bukenya had reached a point because of his loyalty to President Museveni. He was mimicking President, walking like Museveni, talking like Museveni, putting on shirts like Museveni and the hat. When you drop such a loyalist from your close cohorts, just know that you're creating gaps, you're creating holes in your leadership.
But Gilbert
so unless somebody,
but you see,
nobody. But you see, after dropping Gilbert Bukenya, you see the president has a big pool from which to pull.
Exactly.
He also brought in Sekandi, who was even a more loyalist and was able to be a vice president for it.
Let's
for me,
pick that information.
This is the point I wanted to drive home.
what I wanted to clarify on the appointment of Sekandi, he was a seasoned career politician, a lawyer, a former speaker, and he had risen through the ranks.
Yes,
so
that
is true.
I didn't dispute that.
Yeah,
I say
so
after dropping,
that time.
That is merit.
Let's allow Banjusi. No. Let's allow Banjusi. Yes.
You people, you need to be civil. Every time you guys are submitting, I write like a name drop, because I do respect each and everyone's opinion.
Go right ahead.
By that time, second, if there was anyone most qualified and competent to be the vice president of this country, looking at all factors, it was him.
So what did he
do
actually as a vice president?
I want us to agree on something here.
But you are
I
giving me
said,
information.
much as I'm NRM, we need a credible leader of opposition to keep the government on its feet, so that we do to go into that slumber mode and deliver. And when you look at Joel, whether Peter you use whichever words of English, the fact remains, compared to the previous leaders of opposition we've had, he does not match the bar that was.
I really want to tell Mr. Banjis here that we are discussing the imminent issues of national importance in this country. I didn't dispute the fact that Edward Sekandi was a nobleman fitting to be there, but I was discussing appointments of loyal. President Museveni has surrounded himself with loyalists. Why would he appoint Nabanja as the prime minister when he has?
But that's also
when
could be true.
Of the loyal,
we know more competent people in the NRM who the president has not appointed, but has gone ahead to appoint people that sing and dance Museveni.
Mpaka and Banyaji and our dear listeners, in our cabinet we have opposition members who never even switched their allegiance from their original parties, who still say I'm DP but in NRM government, who still say I'm UPC but serving my people. So that one is not true. And on the issue of royalty, take it or leave it, or appointments, most of the key positions, they will always look at your competence and reality.
That's
and
true.
3, you people, we must give credit where it's due. Nabanja is one of the best mobilizers we have in this country. Irrespective
of the NRM.
Irrespective of her shortcomings here and there, because you can't be a master at each and everything.
Okay,
so we must look at
that's very contradictory though.
Okay,
in my opinion, because now if you think Joel perhaps could be doing something for the party of NUP and he deserves to be the leader, then Apollo.
Well, I'm happy that I brought the spark, and most of these gentlemen have just agreed with me that yes, that you need the President Museveni has set a precedent of picking Royce that can serve him better, and that's why Bob Wine came up with George Ssenyonyi. When there was a change in leadership of FDC, when Amuriat took over power from presidency from General Muntu, immediately Amuriat dropped Honorable Winnie Chiza, who was doing very, very well in parliament. She had achieved so many things, but then replaced her with the Honorable Bet Aor Ochan, and then there was the parliament. It's as if had gone to darkness or something, because there is nothing that is noble as suggested that Honorable Bet Aor Ochan did. But also that one also Ochan came in because of the royalty, the principle of royalty that I'm talking about, because Winnie Chiza was this side of General Muntu, and then
actually I would want to
Power realized that he cannot work with Honorable Winnie Chiza, and instead picked Bet Aor Ochan, and then we saw how opposition in parliament started shrinking a little bit, and we not register so many results. So it is always good. Yes, it's always good for Aor Ochan. Of course, it's as if there was no opposition in parliament, because she was happy, she was excited, and that's why I also I'm also scared that Joel Ssenyonyi, being young, he should not be able to be filled with this kind of excitement to bring it to Parliament. This is a house where we think that we can cook something and put it forward. So when he comes with his excitement, that is very young
Let's talk for a break. When we come back, the lifeline of the show, the telephone calls, and your feedback on social media. Good morning.
It's tough. It's bold. It's real politics. The Big Seat on 91.2 CROOZE FM. Great music.
Great music.
Great friends.
Great friends.
The only reason other radio stations exist is because they want to be us. 91.2 CROOZE FM.
Great music. Great friends.
Ekaya Crescent Hotel brings you the festive season specials. Join us for massive discounts on all our services through the season. On Saturday, 23rd December, we shall host the Ekaya Kids Christmas Party with 10K entry per child, with lots of fun, plus further Christmas sharing gifts and having a good time with the children. On Christmas Day, we shall have a family luncheon for your family and friends. And on 31st December, the Ekaya End of Year Fiesta with magnificent fireworks, spectacular music featuring DJ Alberto and Lethan MC. For bookings and reservations, call 0776 843 428 or find Ekaya Crescent Hotel in Kacheka, right opposite Divine Mercy Hospital. Ekaya Crescent Hotel, your place of comfort this festive season.
Looking for a sanctuary of style and relaxation? Introducing Alex Hair Lounge and Spa, located on the Gulf Coast Supermarket building. Gents, revitalize your look with our precision haircuts. Ladies, indulge in a world of beauty with our comprehensive hair services, including retouch, treatment, styling, and dreadlocks. And for that silky smooth touch, experience our expert body waxing. Our bridal section is designed to make your special day even more magical. Need a moment of tranquility? Our spa section awaits, offering rejuvenating massages that transport you to a realm of pure bliss. For those seeking privacy, our private suite is available for hourly bookings. And don't forget to explore our well-stocked gift shop featuring premium skincare products and original perfumes. Visit Alex Hair Lounge and Spa for an experience in beauty and relaxation. Call us now on 0756 022 683.
We are back.
Move to the rhythms of the radio station that reflects your lifestyle.
Yeah.
Western Uganda's biggest radio, 91.2 CROOZE FM. Great music, great friends.
It's tough. It's bold. It's real politics. The Big Seat on 91.2 CROOZE FM. Great music.
Great music.
Great friends.
Great friends.
We are back. It's 24 minutes past 10 o'clock on Western Uganda's biggest radio station, 91.2 CROOZE FM. Great music, great friends. My name is Wesigye Banyaji. We're talking about the appointment of Joel Ssenyonyi as the new leader of opposition designate, taking up from Matthias Mpuga, who has been since we went to the elections. What will Joel Ssenyonyi do different or better? It's something that we're talking about this morning. The legacy of Matthias Mpuga, and what do we project to achieve for Joel Ssenyonyi as we gear up for the 2026 general elections. On Facebook, Matthias Major Breezy, who is saying such a position needs people with ideas and readiness to bring up opposition. And I must say and thank Honorable Matthias Mpuga, because he was an intelligent man, and we can wait and wish Joel Ssenyonyi the best as he serves not only his party but the opposition at large. Let him be a great voice, because we also know him as a vocal man, and he also has an ideology mind that opposition can feed from. Wakanda Rogers, big contributor, listening from Makenke, and is saying he makes a good leader here, though now the task will be to make all opposition parties and members stick together to achieve their goals. Ugandan leaders need to always empower their people with knowledge and other resources that can change their economic status. Robert Babiha, you're saying Joel is capable. We underlooked him when he was appointed at Kosasi, but he smartly worked well. is a blessed person. And then Bamwine Lawrence, you're saying the character of Honorable Mpuga is what is needed for the general good of the opposition. But this was deviating from what the president of the party expected from him. Mr. Chaguranyi wanted a confrontational kind of L.O.P to directly deal with State House. This let's wait and see what Joel deals with the appointment. Orishiba Marcel is saying it's a good move. When people spend long in positions, tend to think they should not be changed. Christian Saja in Essential, big time, big sitter. You're saying my thought is that Ssenyonyi is the right person to lead NUP in the parliament, because Panau is the person who is active in parliament. I'll come back later on to more of your message, but keep them coming. Keep the conversation on our social media. That's on 91.2 Cruise FM on Facebook and 912 Cruise FM on Twitter. The lifeline of the show, the telephone calls right about now on 752-912-912 and 780-912-910. The big set.
Yes, Mr. Banyaj.
Good morning.
Good morning. This is Paul from Customer Service.
Yes, Paul. Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas to you.
Yes, to the topic of discussion.
Happy January.
We are not hearing you anymore. Paul, please get a chance and call back so that we can be able to put your voice on record this morning. The big say, we just lost that call on 752-912-912 and 780-912-910. The big say.
Yes, sir, Mr. SJ.
Yes, good morning.
Good morning, sir.
Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas, too.
Yes.
This is Ssenyonyi Julius from Lugaga, Isinjiro.
Yes, Julius.
Now, on the appointment of Mr. Ssenyonyi, these people who support the LK movement and as their leader, as them 70, they see that nobody else can manage to run a certain seat. That's why they stay in power. So even, by the way, Mr. Mpaka, you can also lead the opposition in parliament. Mr. John Ssenyonyi is an able-bodied man. He can lead the opposition. The tested leader.
Okay. Thank you. On 752-912-912 and 780-912-910. Call in and let's get to hear from you. The big set. Yes, good morning. Gentlemen, you should be able to turn down the volume of your radio. You just heard what happened. It's not a good thing. On 752-912-912 and 780-912-910. The big set.
Hello, Western.
Yes, good morning.
Good morning. This is Carson calling in from the Amasa Shema.
Carlson, Merry Christmas.
According to me, this Ssenyonyi is not capable, as we used to see this man how he used to do. Mathias Mpuga. Mathias Mpuga was very strong. He used it to stand up in parliament and shout and talk to his people, but I don't think that this Ssenyonyi is going to do as Mathias Mpuga used it to do. So this Ssenyonyi is not capable as Mathias Mpuga was.
All right.
Good morning.
Good morning. Merry Christmas. Let's speak one last caller. Good morning. Yes, what's your name and where you at? Yes, Crescent.
For me, and Martin, I see John Ssenyonyi is capable for doing that job. Because for now in the parliament, the direct person you see that he is active. Now, I think he will lead that political party.
All right. Thank you, Crescent.
Okay.
It's a 10:30 a.m. Your local time check.
It's tough. It's bold. It's real politics. The Big Seat on 91.2 Cruise FM. Great music.
Great music.
Great friends.
Great friends.
All right. right, it's just a 10:30 on Western Uganda's biggest radio station, 91.2 CROOZE FM. Great music, good friends. Thank you so much for that feedback, and I want to wish you a Merry Christmas. And all of us here, the entire team of CROOZE FM, want to say Merry Christmas and a very Happy New Year to all of you that are listening to the show. And you've had the feedback, the callers, and what they think about Joel. You see, for me, it also goes back to the money element. You see, this office does not come without some kind of paycheck. Someone is going to control about do they get about 20 billion shillings in budget allocations, and then the power and the influence that you have. You're literally calling the shots in the opposition. You have a lot of control of the management and leadership in parliament. So it is not merely the ability to influence leadership there, but it's also a past issue. It's a rotational kind of arrangement. Don't you think that President of the NUP, Kyagulanyi, was on pressure by some of those indigenous members of the party who think Mpuga was an outsider who came from the other side, DP, joined NUP, quickly elevated into the leader of opposition. Yet there are those that started in from people power and they were in for the formation of the party, and perhaps they needed to take the cake and also have a piece of it.
I really want to dispute that if the chance is mine, because you also need to know that Mpuga is our vice president, party vice president, and of the region within which we had the greatest support, 80% to 90% support. So he's not a person to just push away and brush away just because of the indigenous supporters.
I have a question for you. In the first place, how was he appointed to that position? It's because by then he was the chairman of Buganda Parliamentary Caucus. So whether you wanted to appoint him or not, the power that he had by that time.
What is the allegation? That he was not the leader of...
No, but the basis of his appointment was his chairpersonship of the Buganda Parliamentary Caucus.
Yes, because this gentleman has a lot of influence in the Buganda region, and he commands a lot of
respect. That's not the reason.
And what is the reason?
Anybody among the NUP members could have been appointed.
And
so
yes, anyone could have been appointed.
So
but also,
being a Muganda.
Ahabwachaba NRM nibenda ngunupi yanekora appointments itora neba akacheri. Why, if somebody has influence, why should not?
That's why
somebody has influence, like you've said. Why don't you bring him on board?
You've brought on board Kacheri compared to the person that has been occupying that position.
But the same can be talked about Rakana Rugunda, Amambabazi, Chintu Musoke, etc. Professor Svambi, and you have,
and it works well for us.
It also works well for them, baby.
Yes, it works well for us if the leader of opposition is weak.
Yes, we NRI.
Yes, so his idea of the strong leader of opposition is real in bad faith.
Yes, actually, to what was the whole of his discussion and submission that he was giving here?
Yes.
So I want to substantiate as I conclude that my worry in Joel Ssenyonyi would be if he is in his leadership of Kosase, I saw an element where he could not handle pressure. And you remember when he was investigating Uganda Airlines and the Bamutulachi credentials came on board, and there were issues to investigate Bamutulachi appointment, because remember Bamutulachi is the Descendants Resistance Army. You know, President Museveni has a program of replacing NRA with the descendants and the sons and daughters of the NRA.
What would you do different if at all it were you?
I would open up Uganda for all of us. Uganda should work for all of us. Uganda should, let me tell the listener that when we come in power, Uganda will work for you, not the descendants of NRA.
Let me ask you.
Are you one of them?
If you are not one of them, let me ask you. I'm a Ugandan and I'm a stakeholder here.
If you are not a descendant
so
of the
out
resistance
of courtesy, let me ask you, and
them.
I punch holes in your new
but
shadow cabinet.
I pray for protection.
You don't have any Westerner, any person from Southwestern.
Right.
It's true.
And I want to tell you,
Moishu is represented very clearly
who?
by Moishu on that cabinet.
And I want
what is Moishu here? He is not. The Nicholas Kamaras are not there.
Substantiate. Okay. And actually, to answer your question, I want to inform the listener that Joel Ssenyonyi is born from Rwampara here. You should know that if you're not informed. It is just that the man is an MP for Nakawa East. So he's from amongst us here. But what I wanted to substantiate, a weakness that I see in Joel that maybe cost us somewhere, is if he bows again to pressure, because in the descent in that Bamuturachi, the descendants of the Banansko, we saw when he was put on pressure, we saw him cow down, and actually, from the investigation of the Uganda Airlines by Kosase up to now his appointment as L.O.P, Ssenyonyi and his Kosase has been a bit in the briefcase. So it's maybe a message I can put to him if he's listening. I know he's actually listening into CROOZE FM. It is a message I would put to him that please don't bow to pressure. We need you the most at this time.
Perhaps maybe the question that I should put to the panel too is there's been a suggestion of the second runners up to the presidential election becomes the automatic leader of opposition in parliament. By now would see Bobby Wine, Chaguran Centum, being the leader of opposition. Kenya is drafting an amendment in the constitution that will make it very automatic for the biggest loser or the second runners-up. Is it first runners-up? Yes, to become the leader of opposition rather than having them outside parliament. What do you think, Bwenja?
No, I think it is wrong, because you would have appointed them as MPs against their will. Their will is, I want to become the president of Uganda, not an MP. So,
no, but you see, you look
making
at,
it mandatory that if you lose, then go into parliament. But if I don't want,
not necessarily being an MP, but you're leading the opposition strategically. At parliamentary level. In fact, there you can be able to influence things.
No, you see, all MPs must be elected, not appointed by law.
But we know ex-officials in parliament. We know we are so many.
Yes,
nobody knows a member of parliament, ex-official.
They don't vote.
And
so they are just there to make up numbers, but they don't vote because they do not come from the will of the people. So I was having a member of parliament, especially a leader of opposition, who doesn't vote because she or he is not elected. It is a narrative, really. It doesn't make sense. So, and also, it should also, I think...
no, but we had a prime minister in Professor Ansabambi who don't vote. But nevertheless...
The whole thing here is,
it's not good.
By the time someone runs for presidency, he has made a choice. That's one. Two, it's true and it's factual. All ex-officials in parliament do not vote. Because people who are supposed to vote are the people that have the Ugandan's mandate.
But you see, you guys, you gentlemen are ignoring a very important aspect.
The person that was the second person in the presidential election and having the majority member of parliament, by default, he's in charge because it's him who appoints this cabinet. So they represent him. So he's in charge, whereby he even has the power to appoint.
But we've seen leaders of opposition outweigh their presidents.
That happens a number of times. Let me conclude on that issue.
Yes.
Inevitably, Vanyaji, running for presidents does not mean that you're the most qualified, most competent leader in a particular party. But maybe you have the resources to do so, or you're more appealing to the masses. You run for presidents. It's the same argument that we are having right now about the leader of opposition. And that's why Peter Mpaka is saying we should give Joel Ssenyonyi some benefit of doubt, irrespective of the fact that deep within his heart, he knows there are some serious guys. Yes, there are some serious opposition people in the parliament who would maybe do a better job than Joel Ssenyonyi.
Okay.
For me, that suggestion that question you've put to us, for me it is tactically right but strategically wrong. Tactically, you know what, they appointed a certain friend of ours, Mukara's general. He was contesting in Bara City North for
Mubiru
Mukara's Deus. When they appointed him as a parliamentary staff, I think policy
research analyst.
We called him for this activism of ours. This radio. He said, no. I no longer want to come to radio shows because I'm now a civil servant.
Yes.
And he was right.
And he was right. That's why I'm saying tactically it is right. Because once the government brings you, the ruling government brings you as opposition, and you've given these entitlements,
you become part of government.
You become part of government. The people.
Okay.
I want to go to strategy.
Let me allow this.
Let me finish my point. Let me finish my point.
Yes.
And then he will come in. The people behind, that's why sometimes you wait when Ssenyonyi starts operating and he starts moving in those convoys, people will start seeing him as part of government.
Okay.
So it's tactically wrong for the leader, strategically wrong. It is tactfully right on government, but strategically wrong because you've seen Besigye saying, I no longer even want to be a party president because it has issues. I want to go in activism.
Okay, let's
so
allow
to be an activist. Be out of parliament.
Okay.
That's what the president of the party should do.
Thank you, Mpaka. Wesley, to respond to your question immediately. Someone garnered around 3.5 million votes at the national level, and then we are using this person to be in the house under the leadership of the speaker, who is the chairperson of a small, one of the arms of government. If I can give you an insight,
let's stop for a break. When I come back very shortly, I'm going to give you an opportunity to follow. Good morning.
It's tough, it's bold, it's real politics. The Big Seat on 91.2 CROOZE FM. Great music.
Great music.
Great friends.
Great friends.
Happy holidays.
Happy holidays.
From 91.2 CROOZE FM. Great music.
Great music.
Great friends.
Great friends.
Enjoy a very DSTV holiday. Enjoy a very DSTV holiday. Watch your football team in action. Catch you in Uganda, wherever. Light up Judges World with laughter. It's that time of the year. Give the little ones a DSTV holiday. So much more entertainment. It's a DSTV holiday. Enjoy a very DSTV holiday. Enjoy a very DSTV holiday for everyone.
A very DSTV holiday to you and your family. Stay connected to DSTV family at only 64,000 shillings and have a good time together like never before this festive season. DSTV Uganda. It's your moment.
DSTV Uganda is regulated by the Uganda Communications Commission.
91.2 CROOZE FM. Great music. Great friends.
It's tough, it's bold, it's real politics. The Big Seat on 91.2 CROOZE FM. Great music.
Great music.
Great friends.
Great friends.
We're almost on the final lap of the show. 15 minutes to the top of the hour on Western Uganda'S biggest radio station, 91.2 CROOZE FM. Great music, great friends. Wesley Banyaji is my name, and I want to wish you a Merry Christmas and a prosperous new 2024. I am very sure that you intend to spend that time with family, and those that are traveling all the way from Kampala to all the different rural districts of our country. Make sure that driver is first sober, they are driving safely, but those that are driving themselves and plying these routes yourselves, please drive responsibly. Let's respect the traffic rules so that we all breathe safe in our areas of destination. Otherwise, rushing to spend time with the family and you go in a coffin is not a good thing. Finally, with me in studio, I have Council Bwenje Deusdedit, who is a lawyer, Peter Mpaka, National Interplatform, Apollo Tumsime, Alliance for National Transformation, and Asimo Banjizi, National Resistance Movement. Apollo, before we went for a breather,
point that you cannot get someone who garnered around 3.5 million votes and then reduce him to the level of like leader of opposition, and then he has to be under the speaker of the ruling government who has who is a cadre.
But you see the reasoning, Mr. Tumsime, is you want a country to move in unison. You want a bloc country. You want a united country where even a divergent opinion is not left out, but rather incorporated in the drafts of
but it has been there. We've seen minority reports being presented alongside the majority report, and it's just because if it has not been the indiscipline of the NLM to put the minority reports in dustbin, there are some minority reports that you see holding some water, and this can be brought forward. So the opposition still have a chance. If you mentioned Kenya, when we always after elections we see Right Honorable Raila Odinga commanding a certain force of his supporters that we are going to influence this, and he has used it as a strategy that every time he loses an election, but he has certain things that he has been chasing for, he uses another forum which he has because he has people supporting him, like people behind him, rally behind him, and then they force for something that they stand for. So for me, I still believe that the constitution that we have that allows the leader of opposition to be appointed from the members of parliament of opposition can still be able to deliver. What if I have to conclude on the point that we were discussing before? Honorable Peter said that Joel Ssenyonyi can be prone to fear. We saw how he got frustrated when he was going to represent his Kosase report when Anita Among shamelessly ruled that the report has been leaked, so it cannot be debated shamelessly. We had invested money by paying people who are sitting on the committee to investigate that report. We had some good things to investigate, to look at, because we were losing money. We had flawed reports that are being investigated, and the report was going to be presented, but shamelessly, Right Honorable Monga said, this report has been leaked, so it cannot be presented. So if she was a leader of the house, why would she just rule like that? And then we ended up losing something that we could. This has been a good year to us as Uganda. We've seen milestones that we have registered, including the passing of Anti-Homosexuality Act, though it sparked so many things, and we saw the World Bank withdrawing support from us and being threatened to be chased from AGOA and certain stuff. But for us as Uganda, and as a Christian, I really stand for that. And I say that this has been approved, and I'm happy for that. We also had a budget approved of 52 trillion. And then surprisingly, Banji's government also brought a supplementary budget of 3 trillion. And then we saw money exchange. So I wish people of Uganda, and especially the listeners of CROOZE FM, a Merry Christmas and a prosperous New Year 2024.
Thank you, Mr. Apollo Tumsime, for sparing time to join us for the big set. As Sima Banjizi, give us the passing shot.
Thank you, Banyaji. I'll start by congratulating you. This year has not been easy, and our dear listeners being royal. And I also want to quickly appreciate the people that have sent me messages here. Michael, a journalist attached to New Vision, is agreeing with Mpaka, saying that Bobby Wine did what he had to do because he feels threatened by Matthias Impuga. He might even run against him. There is a gentleman called Bruce. He's at law school, BSU. He's listening in, actually following online. Thank you, Bruce. Back to our national issues. Me as a person who loves football so much, I once again congratulate whoever was involved in us being one of the hosting 3 countries of Pamoja. AFCON, we believe if handled properly, we shall reap the benefits. And we believe it will improve on the infrastructure here and there. Then finally, Banyaji, I'll still say this. Joel Ssenyonyi, to me, I don't think he's the most competent L.O.P that we are having.
But he also
as a
said
country.
it. He said he's not the most qualified
Yeah,
or the most competent.
Us as
but
NRM,
he's only available to serve.
Us as NRM, we don't see any big challenge in him. We shall handle him. He's an amateur. He's a trailblazer in Parliament. So we are good to go. Because Matthias Impuga, when it comes to plenary, he's thorough.
Okay, thank you.
Then I remain Asimwe Nicholas Banjizi. And I wish each one and everyone listening out there a Merry Christmas, and I wish them journey masses. Our roads, some of them are narrow, potholes and everything. We also have good roads.
Okay.
But even the indiscipline of road users, let's be careful while we are out on those roads so that we reach safely wherever we are going to celebrate. Thank you so much.
Asim Evangelist, I want to thank you for being a part of the show this morning. Council Bwenje,
yes,
your parting shot.
What had I been the president of NUP, I would have appointed Honorable Zake as the leader of the opposition.
But what is in Zake that is very
And I want to encourage all MPs, all opposition MPs, to be like him, to adopt his conduct. He's
immature conduct.
He's a strong man conduct, not immature. You see, the tactics of the oppressed person are dictated by the oppressor. That's what Mandela said. So, in a country where there is no rule of law, there are human rights violations everywhere, then you cannot massage the government of the day. You have to be as armed as it is.
Okay.
And so I want to thank, of course, Honorable Ssenyonyi for accepting his appointment, and I want to remind him not to be a smooth leader of opposition. He must be radical, because the government in which we are working is a radical one.
Okay.
And force has to be met with force. And of course, as a football fan,
now you as an atheist who does not believe in God,
of course,
I want to celebrate the birth of Jesus Christ. What comes to you?
That is, if he was ever born. But 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 of course, I appeal to those who believe in him to be cautious. Yes, to be cautious. To be aware of the potential for accidents, robbery, and so forth.
Thank you, Council
Bwenje, their life and the property, and the happy new 2024.
A part of the big set. Peter Mpaka.
Yes, thank you, SJ, and our dear listeners for always tuning in. The year has not been a good one for me. As we end, I want to alert people to be security conscious. We still have ADF even in the vicinity now here in Kamwenje. So if you see suspicious people, be alert and inform the authorities. Be courageous. Then in Mbaradas town, we have a serious problem. The city is now flooding. We already talked about garbage and so forth and so on. But lastly, on the L.O.P, I want to request the experienced MPs, those who have been there for this whole time. It's time now to stand up and support this young man that is available for leadership.
Thank you, Peter Mpaka. Thank you, gentlemen, for being a part of the show. Thank you, the team from Creative Digital Media, for streaming live for Cruise TV on YouTube. And thank you for all the online audience. My name is Wesige Banyaji. My punchline this week is, as we celebrate, please do within your means. Don't leave in date after the holiday. We have news at the top of the hour. Merry Christmas.